Hi guys, this is Yummy Wilfred. Welcome to It Was Never Personal with Yummy Wilfred. It was never personal. It has always been about laughter, love, music, dance, colors, role playing, balance, awareness, authenticity, not taking the ego too seriously, life too seriously. It is all about realizing that this is a dream, an illusion that you and I get to co create with a power higher than us. It was never personal. Tune in to get inspired, motivated, and mostly importantly, find ways to love yourself and do so with laughter and joy. This is nothing new. You won't learn anything new from this podcast. It may only sound new because we have forgot what we once knew. So I'm here to remind us of that which we forgot. Hence, remember, it was never personal. Or like other people like to say it was not that deep. Yeah. On today's episode, the title is Authentic Living, Ignoring the Noise and Embracing Your True Self. Welcome to today's episode where we'll be exploring the transformative power of living authentically. Because we live or living in a world filled with noise, opinions, and constant comparisons, it is not easy to really get a sight of who you are. Rather, it's easy to lose the sight of who you are. However, embracing our genuine selves and letting go of the need for external validation is a crucial step towards inner peace and self acceptance. So, in this episode, we'll discuss why it's essential to prioritize your own voice, how to develop a strong sense of self worth, and how ignoring what other people think of you can help you create a life that is genuinely fulfilling. Join me as I uncover the secrets to authentic living and learn how to embrace our true selves unapologetically. Yes. So, without further ado, I'd like to say thank you so much for tuning in. I really do admire your presence, and I hope that you get to learn something from this. So, I stopped really taking into account and sleeping on external opinions when I was 18 years old. Yeah. Um, this means that how I walk, how I talk, how I laugh, how I sit, whatever clothes that I wear and how I wear my clothes, like the way that I see myself has no thing to do with external forces around me, you know? Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I do take into account whenever I get constructive critiques from my lecturers at school, my parents, my friends who I know that they love me, these people when they give me opinions, I really do take them to heart. Like I do listen to them. But otherwise, I shut the windows. Yeah. In other words, I drive my own car and I don't really need you to validate my driver's license, Yeah. Because ultimately people are just crazy. People are crazy because why do we need to really voice out our opinions? Why do we have to judge someone on petty things that really do not matter, you know? Because in the long run, how a person walks, how a person talks, how a person laughs, sit, like the type of clothes they wear, whatever food they want to eat, like those little things that really that that's that it's exhausting, but people are crazy because people will always have something to say. And as such, we care so much of what people have to say about us. But like I say, that ain't my business. As much as it ain't my business of whatever that you want to do, it's also none of your business what I want to do. As long as I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm not really hurting you and I'm not hurting myself, I guess we can really give each other space and allow ourselves to really be authentic, and experience whatever that life has to bring to us. So it has nothing to do with me. It really has nothing to do with you. Let us give each other space to be. Yeah. But the reason why people really have that kind of character to really judge or give out their opinions on whatever that we do is because the mind really is insecure. The ego is so insecure. And hence, to really feel that or change that insecurity into being secure, it put labels on things, Yeah. Like I've started really doing my doing my my necklaces, I have a collection of crystal necklaces, but they are not all crystals per se. Others is just metal necklaces. They're so pretty and I love them, you know. And that is that to it. Actually, that is that to it. It has nothing to do with whatever that people think, because ever since I started wearing them to school, it's like everyone meets me and then they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What's that, guys? Can you don't you see what it is? It's a crystal. It's a necklace. Yeah." But then the question, "What is that?" is not really about what's that. It's why are you wearing it? What does it mean to you? They really want to know it, and then I tell them, and it's like, so it means this, it means that. And I'm like, no, 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 no. It has nothing to do with whatever that you're thinking. It's not spiritual. It's not religious. It's not. Huh, I do not attach my crystals and in fact, this goes to anything. I don't attach whatever that I have as my possession to anything. Like my shoes, my clothes, my the type of spoon that I eat with, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact other than the fact that I love it, you know, and I appreciate it and I'm just enjoying its existence. You know, that is why I really don't get into panic mode or breakdown if I lose some of my possessions, you know? Like even if that crystal necklace is gone, by the day I wake up tomorrow, oh, it's gone. But I know that I enjoyed it and I had time with it and I really appreciated it. I let it be. The the biggest thing to do, or the most crucial thing to do whenever that um you acquire a possession, you buy something, or in my case, the necklace, do I have to be very, very conscious that I do not attach the the necklace to anything. I don't draw a story to it. I do not really create this picture and say, okay, this necklace is this story. You know, when I see it, I see lucky. I see good vibes and stuff like that, because actually that is what people um do or really believe. But to me, my necklaces are not really like for the luckiness and stuff like that. I just liked it. I saw it and I was like, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna get this. You know, it's like buying a new pair of socks, a pair of trousers because you love it. It's not because you're trying to really resist the yeah. But anyways, the most important thing to do is not to create a story and put it onto the possession that you have, because if you do that, you are really going to break, or you won't be able to feel the essence, you know. You won't be able to feel the the light and the life that is really there within that possession. For instance, in my case, the crystal, I love it, and every time, oh wow, every time I get to see the my necklaces, whenever I get to see my nails, whenever I get to see my these things that I really buy, it's really, really a pattern right now that even if I really see it the next day, it's like it really it seems so new, you know. Yeah, it seems so new because I still really connect to whatever that I saw the first time I bought it, which is really that beautiful thing, you know. Not because I was looking for clarity, I was looking for guidance, I was looking for lucky or that, but you know, it's okay. Like I said, it's none of my business what you do. You can get it and really say, you know, this for me is my lucky charm, and it will be your lucky charm. Yeah, but to me, it's not really that. So it's none of my business what people really think about me. And this is the thing. It's exhausting. We have to really know this. It's exhausting to have to really cater for what people um think about you, you know, because it'll also ultimately block you from being able to be this actor, actress, the role players that we are, you know. It's it takes so much space, and it takes so much time to really get to take into consideration about what people will have to say before you really act out whatever that you feel like doing. Imagine, you know, you walk into a store and then you want to get this this beautiful dress, and then you're like, but what will people say? What will my mom say? What would my friends say? What will my boyfriend say when he sees me in this dress? He will think that I'm a okay. He'll think I'm a prostitute, and I'm like, what? What? Just get it, get it. Do you like it? Okay, get it. What was the intention? What was it? Are you intending to come off as a prostitute? If so, then do it. Are you a prostitute? No. Okay. Are you? Yes. Okay. Still do it because ultimately it's just about experiencing it. You loved the dress. You were able to really see that clothing and you're like, I want to wear this. I want to really come out through this. I want to experience life through this. But because we are so into seeking the validation and we really take into account of what people have to say about what we do, we really break ourselves. We really break that unique rhythm that each one of us have because personalities are different. Although we are one in essence, we are all connected, but in this world, in this practical level, we have different personalities. So allow your personality to flow through you. Do not block it because you will, yeah, you'll regret it later. We all know this. So there are two levels at which taking into account or really blocking yourself because of what people think happens. It can be very direct, as in you really do what you do because of what people say to you. You do it because of what people think. Or it can be indirect in such a way that you act a certain way because you think people will think a certain type of way. So you think for them, but ultimately you're still doing the thing that um a person does because a person does when they get to act because of what people say about them. And I because after, when I was 18, I stopped doing the I would act this way because I know that they don't like it. I stopped really taking into account what people think of what I do when I was 18. But it was really until this year when I'm 20 and I'm like, oh, so I've been really now on the indirect side where I act in a way because I think they think this way. So ultimately I'll get to eat certain type of foods because I'm like, okay, if I eat this, they will think this. So I think for them, and I've been thinking for them. So in such a way, even though to some extent I was really allowing myself to go because I can fool around and really just be delusional and go, they will love it. I can think that they will love it. But there are those cases where it's something which is so big, and then I'm like, what would they think? Okay, let me think. I think they're going to think this, then I act that way. It's not really this clear out. It's not really such a conscious thing. It happens subconsciously, really took time. But ultimately, we all live on those two levels. But yeah, unfortunately, other people really do live on both levels. And the reason why we do this is because we don't really know that everyone doesn't have to like us and we don't have to like everybody. That's it. Everyone doesn't have to like me and I don't have to like everybody. And that's it. So because like I was saying, we all have personalities and personalities includes values, principles, beliefs and so a lot of things. I can come across somebody who is doing something which I feel like I wouldn't do that. Why? Because I don't know. I don't find it interesting. And that is where the story ends. Actually, it ends there. Okay, I wouldn't do it because it doesn't really appeal to me. It doesn't interest me. Now it's another thing when I really now get off my mind and then I go to them and I say, why are you doing this? I really don't like what you're doing. Do you think you're doing something which is good? Oh, why are you wearing that? Why do you laugh out loud? Why do you walk like you're walking? I don't can you really walk straightened? Can you walk a certain type of way? You take into a ultimately I'll be saying those things because I feel threatened. I feel I'm really coming from a point of fear, because if I was coming from a point of love, I would have allowed that person to be, But like I said, I don't have to like everybody, and everybody doesn't have to like me. And this goes out to the personalities. Not everything that is going to be manifested by people, whatever behavior they do, it's not like I'm really going to love it. Uh, I don't love Amapiano, but do I have a problem with people listening to Amapiano or the people who make Amapiano? No, 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 no. It's not that. It's not really that personal. It's not that deep. I let them do what they do, and I just gravitate towards what I love. I love hip hop. I love pop, but other people don't like pop, and I don't have to go to people who are listening to Amapiano and be like, this music is so this and this and this, and try and really just make them to really uh be on my side and just switch sides and say, okay, actually, you are right, Wilfred. Let's leave Amapiano because Amapiano is this and this and this. Ultimately, all the negative things that I'll be saying out, ugh, they say a lot about me. So that is that about it. Yeah. Um. Again. Uh. What do I want to say? Okay. Yes. 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 So ultimately, we are all prisoners to our own thoughts, meaning that all the negative things that I say are just me crying out for help. All the negative sayers are just crying out for help because, like I said, whatever that you say that is negative is never really coming from a foundation of love, but it is founded from fear. And again, people are bored. They are bored because it takes a lot of responsibility to really come to terms with being in awareness of your thoughts and being present and observe your thoughts and uh, create that space in which you are not able to really identify with your thoughts and confuse them for a reality. Thinking that okay, if I don't really feel that connection to Amapiano, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I don't really feel it, and then these negative thoughts about Amapiano, especially the thoughts that people others say, because I think people believe that Amapiano is for people who do clubbing, who do drugs and shit, and things like that. Oh, excuse me, but it's not true. It's not true, But if I really believe in those thoughts, and act it out, it will really have to say a lot about me and less about whatever that I'm about the person that is over there. Ultimately, opinions really have nothing to do with you. They have nothing to do with me. It's all really an egoic play. So can we just let others be? Can we let ourselves be? Yeah. Another thing that is really important to understand is that it was never personal. This is a concept that really um this is a concept that I use because it allows me to really overlook the neurosis and the role people play, because I know, or it reminds me that ultimately these bodies and these thoughts and these opinions are not really who we are. They're not who I am. It is just an act of, or it is like an actor going on stage and then they act out whatever it is being said on the script. When I'm watching television or the shows that I watch, I don't confuse the actor with whatever that he's acting, because I know that this is a play, and the same thing goes to opinions. When somebody comes out to me and then they give me out, they give me their opinion, whether it's positive or negative. I know I have to remember that it was never personal. This is not who they are. This is not who they are. And especially when it's negative, because in such a way, I can be really driven towards defending my position, my opinion, or really ridiculing or diminishing their opinion when it's negative, and really going, why do you think so? Oh, listen, you are wrong because of this. But I don't have to do that because I know it was never personal. They ain't their thoughts, they ain't their opinions. And wow, wow, that's really a key, because ultimately you realize that it means that you have self-awareness and emotional awareness. Yeah, you know that you were triggered when somebody said this to you and you didn't act on it. Rather you were there as a space for them to really just um release the anger, release the pain, because like I said, all negative sayers are just really crying out for help. When somebody tells you that you're ugly in the first day in the morning, when somebody has to judge you negatively because of how you dressed, it really doesn't say anything about you, but more about them. If anything, they're just prisoners for on their own thoughts, and they're like, please come and get me out. But the mind cannot really let them say, please come and get me out, but rather it will say, please come and join me. Yeah. So that is that about that. And it was never personal, really has to go with saying nothing is really what it seems on the surface. Nothing is really what it seems to be. It is all not really it is all not really to do with the moment. It has nothing to do with the moment. Like, if somebody gets into your space and then they start really saying all this outrageous thing, bringing up the past and everything, it has nothing to do with that moment. Imagine, even if something that really happened 5 minutes ago, I really see it. It always surprises me whenever somebody comes to me and then they're like questioning me and really critiquing me because of some altercation that happened 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, a day ago, especially if it's a week ago. Bringing something that happened in the past into really this present moment where we are really not having an altercation, where we can really enjoy each other's space and really try and understand each other more. And then you're like, oh, actually, I'm saying this because you really have to understand what I would. Honey, no, 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 no. I will let you do whatever that you want to do. I'll let you really release your anger. I'll let you feel your emotions. But ultimately, I know that it was never really that personal. It had nothing to do with this moment. It is just you really, yeah, being attached to the past. You're still deriving sense. You've been, the fact that you really come, that a person can come and then bring up something that happened a while ago, it means that they've been thinking about it. They've been really dwelling on the past. They've been dwelling on something that really happened. So they're not really present over here. Because if they were present and really right now, at that moment, there's nothing to really argue about. There's no opinion to give, because it has passed. It has flown with the wind. So let's forgive the moment, guys. Let's forgive the moment and just let our opinions slide like water in the oceans and stuff like that. Yes. So that is that about it. Uh, so because we have a culture of people who do not let each other to be, it is not really surprising that people will feel threatened when you get to be a different type of experience of life, when you do your things a certain way. They are just taking the behavior of their oppressor, because, like, this is what I'm saying. So we are a culture which has been taught to really seek validation, especially from our parents. Those is the close circle from our parents, our friends, our partners. So, because we've been raised in such a way that we seek validation from them and we take into consideration of what they think, and we are a culture in which we think for the totality of our communities, like, if I do this, how would people really view me? How would people really view my parents? What would they say about my family? Because we are a culture that is really have been has been taking that into consideration for a long time. It's it's not surprising that people will really come out and gun for you. If you act a certain type of way, your parent will really tell you, I don't like what you're doing. Drr, 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 don't do it, drr, drr, because of this, that, and trying to convince you to believe what they're saying. And usually they confuse the act with, they really take out whatever that they thought about the act, which was a negative thought. And like I said, negative thoughts will yield to negative feelings, because it's like, what are people going to think when they see when they see my son or my daughter really doing this, but ultimately it was never really, it was none of their business, and they have to really get going on it. So really I understand that it was never personal. Yes. um but is it really easy to not take into consideration of what other people think of you? No. Mm-mm. No, it's hard. It's hard because uh the first thing that you'll realize, or the first thing that I really realized, is how much of a lonely or separate collective we are. You know, as a collective or as a human species, we are really separate. We are really disintegrated from the sociality or the social sense that we were meant to have. So being an outsider really leaves it will really lead you into feeling like you are lonely or you're separate from other from other people. But there's a difference. There's a difference between being lonely and feeling lonely. There's a difference between being lonely and being alone, because being alone is just that act of just enjoying your own space. And for me to be alone has never been hard to me, because actually I like being alone. And I think there's only a few people who I would really spend half of the day with. So being alone was never really a challenge, because I've always been an observer of life and of people. And as such, I really do enjoy observing my thoughts and my space. But because I try not really take into consideration of what people think of me, it has led me to really, sometimes I really feel uh lonely. I feel like I'm separate from other people, because it's like, okay, I'm doing this type of thing, and I'm looking over here right now in my surrounding, like my close proximity, in my vicinity, and there's no one who's actually doing the things that I'm doing. So should I join the matrix? Should I do whatever that they're doing so that I can feel like I belong? But doing that will really betray my my it will be me betraying myself, because I'll be going against my intuition, my my attractivity to life, because usually I do whatever that I feel like doing whenever I wake up in the morning, so long as I don't hurt anybody, so long as I don't hurt myself, as long as I'm having fun, I go with it. But it's hard because not everybody's doing it. And in the long run, it's like no one is doing it, and I'm the only one who's doing it. So it's a lonely road to really play on. But like I said, feelings ain't facts, Feelings ain't facts. So I really, the way that I do it, or how I combat that loneliness feeling, I have to always remember that feelings ain't facts, because in essence, we are all one. The same essence that is in you is the same essence that is in me. We are God. We are God's extension. We are the extension of the power that created the entire universe. We are sons and daughters of God. We are the leaves of the same tree, you know? So that is that. If if you are holding if you are holding like a cup of water, we are the H2O molecules of the same water. But because an H2O molecule has three atoms, and then it can actually just interact with other molecules, it's like, okay, we confuse it, and then it's like I'm alone and I'm separate from the other one. But that's not true. You're still the same water at the end of the day. So this goes out to say our personalities may separate us, may make me feel lonely, but in essence I know that we all come from the same source. Yes. hmm so that really helps me to really uh combat the loneliness. Actually, I get to feel lonely again because my inner saboteur, or that part of my ego which is really gunning to kill my inner child, or my experience to life, the joy I have, is really taking the driver's seat, and is like, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing this. Because my inner saboteur has really identified with this beliefs and this one way of life which has been my culture, which has been its culture from a young age. So it's like you cannot be doing something like this when you've been told that you cannot do this. Wilfred, you cannot dress that way, you cannot talk that way, you cannot walk into a room and just act as if you don't know how to act. You've been taught how to act that way. But if acting that way really belittles or really betrays my inner child, my sense of peace, and my aliveness in this world, I cannot do it. I cannot really compromise my aliveness, my joy, my peace for anything. I just cannot do that. You know? Yeah. It was never personal again, like I said. It was never personal. Yeah. Okay. So but another way in which you can really, or which I really do this way, or of really living authentically, not taking into consideration of what other people think of me, because like I said, people are crazy. We are just crazy. Is that I try to block out all the noise. I close the windows, like I said, I close the windows of my car and I drive my car because I do not need you to validate my driving skills. I have my driver's license, you have your driver's license. Go on with it. Drive your car. I'll let you drive your car. So let me drive my car. Ultimately, blocking out the noise means living the way that you want and letting your voice be the loudest in the room. And to create the world that you want to live in goes with having principles, values, disciplines, or belief systems that you create yourself, because you're trying to really break up that way of acting. You don't want to act a certain type of way because someone has told you that it is wrong. But you're like, am I hitting you? Am I hitting me? Don't I like it? Oh, okay. I'm not hitting you. I'm not hitting myself. I like it. So why not do it? So I'm going to do it no matter what you're saying. Yes, that is that. But we also have to block out the noise because people are ignorant. People are ignorant because they have a limited perspective. They have this narrow belief systems which are so based on superstition and fear. Our societies have really con- they have created this beliefs which are really rooted from a fearful place. you know this is an example that I know. So in my okay, it's getting a little bit personal, but it was never personal. So in my family, it's like, okay, I'll be watching television, and it's like my family members. Some of my family members are not really comfortable with watching two men kissing. It's like really hard for them to really get it. Yeah, I remember a friend of mine was like, she was watching Pose, which is this other LGBTQIA plus community TV show. Pose. Watch it, it's very nice. And then she was watching it with her family members. Ultimately, she was the only one watching it. Other people were on their phone. That is what we do nowadays. So she was watching Pose, and then along the run, she was like, her family member was like, what are you watching? What is this that you're watching? Sometimes I really don't understand what you're watching. Like, given that given that perspective of this is wrong, like this is disgusting. How can you even watch that? Yeah. So I know it, I experience it, but it's that is because of the ignorance. It's because of the lack of information, knowledge. It is because of the limited um self values and belief systems that we have that really are narrow, that are rooted from what I consider to be fear, because love will never really let another person feel disgusted, feel oppressed, feel uncomfortable, or really block them from being who they are, or block them from actually just enjoying whatever experience they want to enjoy. That is love. But whenever you feel anger, whenever you feel anxiety, whenever you feel the need to be righteous because you telling me that I have to change a channel because you see two men kissing, is like, What are you afraid of? Yeah, yeah. But on a real sense, it is being afraid because, yeah, it's your belief system, and you have to really clutter it out. So, but how do I block the noise? I have a lot of things that I do, but I'll give you four things. First of all, I'm not really a social media person. Like I don't do it as much as I have my podcast pages on the social medias. I really go there when I have to post something, or yeah, really that's it. I really go there when I have to really post something. I don't watch the TV and be on my phone. I don't talk to my friends and be on my phone. I don't walk and be on my phone. We are literally out there being zombies, taking your phone and then you are walking with your face down. You're not even present where you're walking. But like I said, it's your choice. It was never personal. I'll let you do whatever that you're doing. And again, I don't watch the news. I don't do news. I don't do BBCs. I don't do Al Jazeera. I don't do BTV news. I don't do it. The same goes to radio because all of these things, even the social media, they are really biased on the negativity. They give out this news on wars, and it's so exhausting. I don't want to see that. I don't want to feed my mind with the fear that is being acted out in the world because we are such a crazy collective. We are ignorant. We can sit for long hours watching people being tortured, being killed, having bombs thrown over, and then it's like, yeah, should I also sit and watch that? No, I don't do that. I try and really block out the noise as much as possible. And ultimately, that is where the fear really comes from because you get to see this on television, and then it's like whatever that you see is really negative and fear based. And then you become fearful. You are even afraid to really do experience this life because you wake up in the morning and you're like, what if they send a missile? Oh my God. It's always crazy because uh, I never really engage with, yeah, this is another way that I do block out the voice. I really choose my environment. Like, I don't sit around with negative people. If my friends are being negative, I shut down. Like, I close off and then I become that observer that I'm always am. And then I just let them do. I don't really participate. I don't give my opinion on politics, on the wars because it's crazy. We are sitting down, and rather than enjoying the space and really get to know each other on a loving manner, we talk about what is happening, and then someone will just strut out and say, uh, this so and so politician is so crazy. They are so this. Okay, facts are facts, but you don't really need to defend facts. Just state it. They are doing this, but don't add more onto it. We know that some politicians are really uh that yeah, they're ignorant, they are crazy, but do not really add more onto the judgment and making yourself righteous over them because that is just an egoic play. Whatever they do, remember, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with them. So do not confuse their personality with who they are ultimately. You know, and imagine sitting down with a group of friends, and then someone spends out and they're like, guys, I think the World War III is coming. This has happened a lot of times, and whenever it happens, I go, what? Within myself, I'm like, what? Oh no, I know that I have to go. I know I have to really go because I'm not going to be here and feed on this negativity. Why do we have to really think about a world war happening? Is it happening right now? So why do we really need to go to the future and really grab it? Because ultimately we are going to create it. We are creating it by really sitting down and just talking about it. And this is the thing, the moment a friend of mine really goes, I think World War is going to happen. I think this is happening. Russia is going to do this. China is going to do this. USA, and it's crazy because a lot of people. What I've realized is that a lot of people think, okay, USA is bad, and then they're like, being a member of USA is bad. So even if you are a citizen of America, you are bad. You are labeled as bad. If you are from China, it's like you are this. If you're from Russia, it's like you're this. And then it's like, okay, because I'm from Botswana, I'm fine. Because you're from this, you're fine. Guys, Let's not do that. It it's useless, it's useless, and ultimately it's just an egoic play, because the ego wants to strengthen its sense of identity, its sense of self, via that collection of, or that agreements of, like, okay, there's going to be a World War III. Who do you think is going to cause it? Oh, this politician is going to win. What do you think the nation is going to become like after they win? Do you think, okay, our thoughts are just ridiculously not pleasing? Yes. So this will yield to this. So like I said, I block out the noise. I don't do social media. I don't sit down and scroll my social media when I'm eating. I don't do that. I don't really watch the news. I don't do radio. I don't do negativity and judgmental people around me. So ultimately, again, we have to really remember that is the conditioning. Is the conditioning. Do not confuse that behavior with the person, the kind of person they are. It's just whatever the way that a person thinks, the way that a person behaves, whatever thoughts that they have been that they have been conditioned to really act that way, you know. And hence, it's really important to not let your ego go opt, or let everyone have any opinion. But okay, do not let your ego co-opt, right? Yes. And let everyone have their opinion, but do not fight it, do not fight it, because ultimately you cannot fight the darkness with darkness. So you cannot fight another opinion by really attacking it and trying to make yourself right. Yeah, which is not really easy to do, because, like, in my case, uh I have people around me, my friends, and my family members, people who I like, and sometimes I try and just let them know that the anesthetics are really not working. So in trying to really let them know that, guys, sitting here and talking about this thing is not really going to benefit us. I may really come out as I may really come out as resistive towards what is, because at the moment they're at that level of consciousness, and they're at that level of identification with their thoughts. So I have to really let them be. So rather I keep quiet, and then I just let everybody voice out whatever they think, about me, about the world, about them. But I do not really give out my opinion. My opinion is just, oh, okay, yes. And my favorite answer actually is just saying, okay, okay. I like it because it really gives me such calmness and peace, but people always want to really get the ego always want to get a reaction. So even if I say okay, it's like, what do you mean okay? You cannot say okay, say something. But then I'm like, no, I don't want to say it. Yes. So sometimes I may not say okay, but then doing so, I really act out from another identity that my ego has identified with, because now it's like, okay, my ego is like, I'm not really with the thoughts and negativity, so I'm really with I think I'm right, you know? So then, if I really have to say something, it may really just be an egoic action, so, or behavior. So I really have to just keep quiet, let them be, and forgive the moment. It's we are all just on different levels of consciousness, levels of knowing what is really happening, because we can all watch a movie, but it doesn't mean that all of us will get the message from the movie. The one that I like to really reference is the the Matrix. The movie on the Matrix, it has a lot of life lessons, but not everyone gets it. But that doesn't mean that watching it and then someone watches it and then they go, "This is what I got. I have to go." Oh, no, 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 that is not what is happening, honey. They're talking about this. Da, da, da." I don't have to do that, because if I do that, I'm really resisting the moment. I'm also thinking that I'm right. So I just have to really let them be. They will arrive. They will get to know it when the time comes, because in that moment when I try to really let someone change their opinion about me, their opinion about a situation when they are so identified with it, you know, when they're so identified with it, and I try to really make them not believe it, it won't work. They won't believe it. It's like in the movie of the Wizard of Oz, and then Dorothy at the end of the, oh wow, okay, at the end of the movie, the Good Witch tells Dorothy to click the shoes 3 times, and then Dorothy's like, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you just say it from the beginning? I would have just done that and went back home, you know." And then the Good Witch is like, "You would have not believed me, my dear Dorothy." Yeah. So the same thing goes to people having opinions about you, having opinions about whatever that is happening outside there, having opinions about themselves. At that moment, I have to accept that that is what it is, and they're so identified with it, and it's okay. I have to let them be, them thinking that way doesn't really mean that I have to really be the corrector, be the righteous person and go, do it this way, don't do it that way, you know. I just have to let them be and they will get it at their own time. And actually, if I allow them to really be and have those attached to their opinion, the chances are that with time they would really detach from it and realize the truth much way quicker than when I really try and be right and really point the finger at them and say you are wrong. This is all right. I'm all right. So what people have to say about me it's none of my business. What people are doing is none of my business. It's it's exhausting to really take into that. So we have come to the end of the episode. I really tried to really condense it and make it a little bit short because I think 55 minutes is a lot, 57 minutes is a lot. Yes, so let's try 49 minutes. So that is that with it. So try and really see how you are acting, and is it really based on what other people are thinking or on how you think other people are thinking, and really see if you are really that person who really co-opts into feeding the negativity, because listen, if you are giving out an opinion, no matter how right it is, you are still being coming from a point of negativity, because ultimately the truth never needs defense. The truth is. So just let it be. You don't have to really defend it or support it. I don't have to really defend the truth. It is it. The thing that I can really do is just state it and then leave it. I don't have to really create a story and start to um link my opinions and my beliefs to the thoughts, to the truth, in order to make another person feel like they are wrong and I'm right, or make them realize that whatever that they're thinking is really just an illusion, is not true. Because ultimately, whatever I will be doing at that moment is also a point of an illusion. So try and see if you're really acting out in a way that you think that you are righteous. And I really hope that you really got something from the episode. Yeah, it was never personal. It is never my business to care about what people think of me, and what I think of people. What people think of me is really none of my business, as long as I work and come from a space of love. Yeah, let everybody say love. Love. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, it was never personal. Like, subscribe, share if you really liked the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. Bye.